Right. So my name's Alex Norta from the University of Helsinki, and I'm the special interest group leader for cross-enterprise collaboration. Just got to figure out how to. Okay, that's how it works. For cross-enterprise collaboration, and part of my team are Danny Oppenheimer. Unfortunately, couldn't make it. Then Hamid Reza and Claudio Bartolino were here from HP Labs. Bit of an outline for the SIG presentation. First, I'll quickly show you a slide with the currently existing team. But next, I'll give you the mission for our SIG and the context. I would like to give you a bit of an understanding for what cross-enterprise collaboration really means. And then an example that shows a bit the trends towards the problems we face with the current trend towards hyper-complex services creations. And of course, we also have a set of objectives that match a kind of an outflow with the mission statement. And we're of course very interested to collaborate with other SIGs, and the presentations I've heard before have been very good, and I think cross-enterprise collaboration is certainly the missing link between the other SIGs. That's how I see it. Here's the team. We have currently quite a lot of good high-profile people from industry, also from academia. Frank Lehmann, University of Stuttgart, Sharm Dusta from Technical University Vienna, Stefan Tai, and myself. But of course, we always are welcome to add on, and hopefully we'll be able to do that here. The mission for our SIG is to foster the development of the theoretical and technological foundation for organizations to collaboratively achieve common goals. And here's a bit of a picture to show you what it's about. Essentially, we're trying to bring service consumers and providers together. Consumers cannot do everything by themselves, so typically they compose their own service like Lego stones with service provisions. And in order to achieve that on a cross-enterprise collaboration level, we got to bring together goals. We need to create a sort of a consensus. There should be a shared strategy, incentives that the parties share. And then they form joint operations, and of course it's all supposed to happen nowadays with means of service-oriented cloud computing. Our objectives, which are an outflow of the mission, tentatively of course can be changed, but this is how we see it now. We would like to collect cases from industry. That's very important. We've got to be obsessed with reality. And then with those cases, we would like to research the cross-enterprise collaboration planning and management, the enactment, and the post-enactment phase. Considerable results already exist from past research, European Union level, Finnish level, other levels. We have a very good team that is producing good results. We have short-term and long-term objectives. You see them on the slides assigned, how we see them. We're also very interested in studying open cross-enterprise collaboration system designs and how that could work using service-oriented clouds. And there we realized the big enchilada is essentially the business semantics as a dominant focus. We see it's not so much really about the technology, but if we have a hyper-distributed, complex socio-technical system for cross-enterprise collaboration, it's really how do we deal with the semantics involved. And there we have also then the issue of meeting places, of course. We need to cut down on the communication overhead. Parties need to find each other. So we have four submissions, paper submissions around the topic of engagement middleware, or you could call it a rendezvous hub, where you can basically facilitate the setup phase, where service providers and consumers find each other and hook up. Also very interesting is then, of course, service discovery in such rendezvous hubs, the matching, the actual enactment, the governance. And then we need to study what are then new developments and new paradigms, collaboration paradigms, that actually span across different SIG boundaries. And I think, as I said, we're kind of the glue potentially between all the different SIGs here. And this is these are the concerns. Service-oriented cloud computing is really kind of a catalyst for this transition here. So we have the traditional approach, kind of silo type of organizations, and what service-oriented cloud computing is now potentially doing is that these silos can be completely broken up. You can have a super flat organization that really is just a collection of value chains or business processes, if you would like to call it that way. And once you have your organization turned around to what you see on the right side, which differs significantly from the traditional organization, you can offer your services as provisions to other organizations that want to consume them. So you see that at the bottom you have service consumer and provider, and they can find each other on a hub. And that can all happen in the cloud. So we have the technical stacks, things as a service, infrastructure as a service, platform. But really, the challenging parts are the business semantics layer, software as a service, business process service, work as a service. Okay, so that's kind of the context. And what's now the trend that we observe? The traditional way of cross-enterprise collaboration works in a kind of a pyramidic form, where you have an original equipment manufacturer on top, let's say a truck producer, that has a supply chain setup that spans over several tiers. Now that's how it's worked traditionally, but we're seeing a trend towards the creation of, I would term it, hyper-complex services. And here's quite a basic example of the Airbus A380, but I think Boeing also has quite a lot of problems. Hyper-complex, essentially services where original equipment manufacturers start now to collaborate on a peer-to-peer fashion. So essentially you have a kind of a recursive nesting of these cross-enterprise collaboration models. The issue is how to pull it off, and I think service-oriented cloud computing is very helpful to save a lot of time and money, and you might have read about all the problems that Airbus had in the past. So, as I said, the business semantics is really the big issue in collaboration, and we have here emerging paradigms. So we have, of course, that's quite well understood, software as a service. Essentially, let's call it legacy systems that get wrapped and they can talk to the internet protocol then, be used through the internet. On top of that, we have business process as a service, and on top of that, more elementary work as a service that becomes part of a business process, okay? So the model for that works a bit like this. So you have an in-house process, okay, that's business process as a service. And in that process, you have kind of a discrete system, business process with activities that flows in sequences, parallelisms, and parts of that get projected to an external level. So you show only what you want to show. You want to hide your business secrets inside. And then some service provider may respond and project something that matches to a certain degree or completely, and backed it up again with a service provider process in-house that matches, but that also extends internally in a way so that business secrets can be kept inside and hidden from the collaborating counterparty. These business processes, they have different perspectives: control flow, data flow, resource, transactionality. And on a more elementary level, we have work going on. So you could say that's maybe like an activity. that is assigned to certain roles. And the business process service uses the legacy software as a service that gets plugged into those business process as a service. And essentially what we try to do is we try to enable fundamentally human action that carries out activities. So humans are enabled if they receive all their means to act. Those means have subjective utility. And in a way, these cross-enterprise collaboration models can be seen really as big, let's say, data and functionality logistic systems, okay, that deliver just in time when people act on a cross-enterprise collaboration level, precisely the tools and the data that they need so that they can do their jobs. This is all based on, I'm wrapping up. So this is all based on past research from, as I said, other projects. So here's one book which is pretty good. I contributed 3 chapters to it, and it's a summary of a cross-enterprise collaboration project. So you might want to take a look at it. I just want to show that we have real results, and here once again the objectives. I hope we can use this as a foundation to hook up with other SIGs. Any questions?